Hey guys, my name's Beth Gibson. I did the graduate diploma last year. Had an amazing year doing that, and now I'm lucky enough to be working at the ABC in Bendigo as a reporter. So my job's incredibly diverse. I do everything. I do radio. I write online stories. I do TV stories, I take photos, I shoot footage for the 7 p.m. bulletin. So it's great fun. So Sonia asked me to just talk to you a little bit about the experience I had during internships, and also just to give you a couple of tips on what, from my experience, what qualities employers are really looking for. I'm not an expert in these things, but I did learn a couple of things last year. So I did a number of internships. I did one with ABC Ballarat. I did one with News Breakfast. And I ultimately did get employed through the internship. So basically I impressed a chief of staff at one of the places that I did an internship, and then a job came up at ABC Gippsland, and she just sort of sent me an email and said, why don't you apply? And she had clearly sort of said to them, oh, this person's quite good. And one thing led to another, and I got a job there, and now I'm a permanent employee at ABC Bendigo. So I guess my first thing is, like, your internships absolutely can lead to employment, and it might not be in the way that you think it's going to be. I kind of was like thinking, oh, I'm going to get a job at this place. That's not how it worked out. Oh my God, sorry, my cat's just getting in the way. That's not how it worked out. But yeah, they can absolutely lead to employment. So definitely cherish the time. And so in terms of, I have sort of three points I want to make about what I think is really good to sort of, what quality is really good to go into your internships with and to go into the industry with. The first one is, like, have a really positive attitude. I think that's almost the number one thing that employers are looking for. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to know every news story that's ever been covered ever. But having a really good attitude, being a can-do person, being really nice to everyone, making an effort to get to know people. And I sort of went into my internship trying to think, in each situation, how can I be most helpful? So sometimes that is getting the coffee, and that's fine. I think don't be shameful about that. I mean, within reason. You don't need to sort of become a slave to them. That is unreasonable. But just being willing to do any little job that could help out the rest of the workflow. Yeah, so I think a positive attitude is the most important thing. The second thing is to do a bit of homework. So if you're going to a regional area, if you're going interstate, familiarizing yourself with the local newspapers, with the local TV shows, with the local radio news bulletins. You don't have to only do that, within reason. You don't have to obsess, but as soon as possible, give yourself that month or two to start getting across the news, because it's really hard to crash course a whole new news cycle. Familiarize yourself with that local news, and start to sort of think about what local stories might be able to go further and how they might be able to go further. And also, very important, familiarize yourself with the place that you're going to, with the style, with the content, and so that when you do go in and you think, oh, maybe I might try and pitch a story, you're pitching it, and it's really, really clearly targeted towards what they actually do. That will impress employees, so that they'll be able to see that, this person's actually put in the effort to sort of understand what we do here. So that's really important. And then my final tip is don't be afraid to make mistakes. I think this course that you're doing now is incredibly good for getting you ready for the industry, but ultimately journalism is a job where you learn on the job. You get thrown in the deep end, you make heaps of mistakes, you embarrass yourself sometimes, you ask dumb questions at press conferences. And so it's really important to just like get over the fear of making a mistake immediately. And internship's a really good place to get over that, because you can, you can pitch an idea and the editor can say, nah, that doesn't really suit us. But then you can sort of go, okay, what might suit you? And then they can tell you about that. And then you can go back and you can revise what you've done. And so being really willing to give it a go, make mistakes, and then take on feedback and adjust how you're doing things, and giving it a second go and a third go is really important. It'll really impress employers, and it'll set you up for the industry, because it is the kind of industry where you do just have to get in there and have a go. So that's it. And my final thing that I wanted to say is that if anyone is thinking about going regional, working in a regional location, I could not recommend it highly enough. The experiences I've had in the short time that I've been working regionally have been amazing. I have learnt so many skills. I've learnt so many different things about the world. I've always sort of lived in Melbourne. I've been in a bit of a city bubble. It's been so eye-opening to get out of that city bubble and learn a bit about regional issues. But also in terms of a career, I have so many skills in my toolkit now that I think I wouldn't necessarily have gotten the opportunity to learn in a metro station, because there are a lot more really experienced people in the metro stations. And so if you come in there new, there's less things that you're going to be given to do. So yeah, so if you're thinking about it but you're not sure, do it. It's awesome. All right, thanks. Enjoy the rest of your course, enjoy your internships, and I'll see you out there at media conferences soon, I'm sure.